Now, let's get to our first guest, renowned economist, the father of supply-side economics, and former economic policy advisor to the aforementioned Ronald Reagan, Dr. Art Laffer. Dr. Laffer, great to see you, sir. The GOP, under the president you served, believed in fiscal restraint and sanity. Not only has no Republican come up with a plan to address our debt, you have big spenders like Mitch McConnell, who don't want to reduce the size and scope of the federal establishment. He wants to control it. So how concerned are you about the irresponsible spending and debt in the United States today?
Can I give you a good phrase that Bill Safire used to use of the New York Times? He called these numbers that you were reading out correctly. So he called them MEGO numbers, M-E-G-O, which he claims stood for my eyes glaze over. And these are just huge numbers. No, if we turn this economy around, we can handle the debt problem. We can handle it with economic growth. We can handle Social Security problems. We can handle all of these problems. And really quite easily if we get consensus and people thinking about it. For example, with the increase in longevity of Americans, and especially I'm 82 and I'm still fully employed and all that. If we extended the age of retirement from 67 to, let's say, 72, all of a sudden the whole unfunded liability of Social Security disappears. What Reagan did, if you'll remember, he changed it with the Greenspan white paper. He changed it from 65, the age of retirement, to 67, and we dropped the unfunded liability quite dramatically. So there are lots of ways of going about and handling these issues. And obviously what you're describing is completely correct, the deficit and debt. But the deficit, what they've done in spending, is what really bothers me. When you pay people who don't work money, what you do is you destroy the underlying incentives and you cause economic growth to decline. And what has happened with all these huge deficits and transfer payments is that we've gone into a secular slide, a secular downturn. This isn't a recession. This is much lower growth rates are attendant to the U.S. economy going forward until we bring that fiscal policy and monetary policy back into line. And we're going a long way from that. And frankly, the Fed's not helping us any, and nor is government spending, as you pointed out. It's not helping us at all. But given the changes that I think are going to happen this November, and given the changes I think is going to happen in November of 2024, which I really do think will happen, you know, we lived through Jimmy Carter. We lived through the four stooges, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, and Carter. And the largest assemblage of bipartisan ignorance probably ever put on planet Earth. I mean, it was just crazy what those guys did. And not only did we live through it, we came back firing away. I just was talking to some people today and just what the growth rates were when the Reagan tax cut finally took effect on January 1st, 1983 to June 30th, 1984. That's an 18-month period. The U.S. economy grew by 12%. That's at an 8% per annum compound rate. 8% per annum. That's Chinese.
You had to correct.
Huh?
Yeah, well, you had to correct the four stooges, but Joe Biden is sitting there saying, hey, hold my beer. I can do even worse than they are. Look, as inflation surges...
I do agree with you on that.
Yeah, well, okay. Inflation is surging right now.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Reports emerge that we have less than 21 days of diesel fuel left in the country. That's concerning. The economy goes deeper into recession, and our supply chain crisis remains unsolved. Biden claims the GOP are going to make things much worse. Watch.
The Republicans have made it clear that if they win control of the Congress, they will shut down the government, refuse to pay our bills, and it'll be the first time in our history America will default unless I yield and cut Social Security and Medicare. There's nothing that will create more chaos, more inflation, and more damage to the American economy than this.
Okay, Dr. Laffer, Biden has already put our economy on a collision course for the proverbial iceberg. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Jamie Dimon announcing that they are preparing for an even deeper recession. If Republicans gain back power, shouldn't they attach fiscally responsible legislation to must-pass bills using reconciliation, the same way Democrats crammed all this childlike spending down America's throats?
Well, we have a very serious spending problem, and you're very correct on that. We really, really do. And I remember Joe Biden in the PhD program with me at Stanford. He was going into the mathematical side of it, and just joking. We need to get the whole place in order. We need to stop this transfer payment stuff. We need to bring it under control. My long-term solution is I think we should put politicians on commission. I think we should have merit pay for. Now, just imagine this. If GDP grows at 3% per annum, you give them their pay. Hey, you got your pay. Grows at 4% per annum, double their pay. 5% per annum,
I'm all for that.
triple their pay. 2% per annum, no pay. 1% per annum, they owe us their pay to. In other words, we have to attach incentives to individuals. I don't mind politicians making lots and lots and lots of money as long as we do too. I don't want it in the corrupt way. I want it in a direct, straightforward merit pay for politicians, and I think that's the long-run solution here. We all know that politicians are going to make a lot of money when they're in. No politician ever died poor, and that's never going to happen. But the way we can make it so they die rich and do the right things, or we can make it so they die rich and do the wrong things. I want to make it so they die rich doing the right things, and that's very easy to realign those incentives. Very easy to do that.
Okay.
There's lots of other things we can do. Merit pay, and then you have transparency for healthcare. Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
Yeah. No, I get it. I like where you're going. You know, actually having politicians accountable. That's what you're talking about, is accountability. I want you to put your crystal ball up on the table there. Consumer spending, the powerhouse of the economy, is starting to see a concerning decline. This is the GDP report, is expected to come out later this week. Given the data that you've looked at, what do you expect from that GDP report? Will we still have negative growth?
Well, I don't even need to look at that. That's just judging what the little number is going to be. It's not going to be a big number. We have had declines in real GDP for the last, 9 months? I mean, we had a negative in the first quarter, negative in the second quarter. The third quarter, which is what you're talking about, is not going to be 8 or 9%. It's just not. It's going to be a low number. It may be negative. It may not be. I really don't know. But what I do know is the whole secular decline. Do you realize there are not very many more people working today than were working in February of 2020? If you look at those employment numbers there, it's just tragic how the U.S. economy has not gotten traction and has not come back strong from the pandemic. And we're going to continue that until we change policies.
Well, I'm right there with you, Dr. Laffer, because Biden's out there claiming he added 10 million jobs. You and I both know those are just mostly jobs that returned to the marketplace pre-pandemic. He's actually only added 514,000 jobs since his occupation of the Oval Office started. And the fact that, and actually a reporter, to their credit, in the White House press corps, called him out on that the other day. So at least the press corps has actually started to push back on these lies. Dr. Laffer, it's always a pleasure to catch up with you, sir. Thank you for being here.